Unit selected. Unit ready. Primary building.
Got it. That was nice.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Building selected. Lost.
That's it. I've got base defences there as well.
Construction ready. Lost. Primary building selected. Unit lost. Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game, but I'm going to try and record this one live, just for something a little different.
Construction complete.
So we'll see how this goes. We're on Trask map, and I'm using Russia, and my opponent's using Russia. I'm in green this time, because my opponent's got a reddy, orangey colour. So, just to be on the safe side, so we're not...
Complete.
So it's obvious whose units are whose.
Cancel.
I actually use my green colour.
Ready and waiting, as you wish.
Unit ready. Cancel. Unit ready.
Reporting.
Unit ready.
Right.
At once.
Minor
Unit
glitch
ready.
there, starting up, but that's fine, we
Unit
can
ready.
sort it. Engineers
Unit ready.
on his way.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Construction.
Waiting
Unit
orders.
ready.
Right,
New construction
first refinery
ready.
down. And like
Unit
I've mentioned
ready.
in posts where I've featured this map
Unit
before, I have a different build pattern
Unit
to usual. I use my war factory for
Unit
build
ready.
reach, so I can get my third refinery
Unit
on these
ready.
gems.
Yes, sir, of course.
I
Unit
think it's time
ready.
to move this
Capture.
guy out now.
Affirmative.
Unit
He
ready.
can protect the engineer.
Unit ready.
Ready and
Leave
waiting.
at least 3
ready.
troops back at base. Now the rest,
Awaiting orders. Very well.
there's enough there to secure everything.
As you wish.
And this guy will protect the engineer from the back. There we go.
Ready and wait. Very well. Reporting at once.
Spread them out a little bit, my rifles. But
Construction
you need
complete.
to use the view range of your structures, especially when you have so few rifles. And there we go, I've got my capture underway.
Awaiting order. Affirmative.
And it's nearly time to start producing my
Unit
2-minute
ready.
point
Structure.
infantry
Unit ready.
training.
Unit ready.
And
Unit
there we go.
ready.
Right, I'm going to take them all,
Unit ready.
escort the engineer.
Unit ready. Primary building.
Ready and waiting.
Unit ready.
Of course. Yes, sir.
Unit
At once.
ready.
Reporting.
Right, and I'm actually placing some of these rifles to watch for base
Unit
expansions, base pushes and stuff.
Unit primary building selected. On hold.
Right, I'm going to have to pause my infantry
Awaiting orders.
production.
Acknowledged. Awaiting order. As you wish. Agreed.
Construction complete. New construction building options. Training.
Reporting. Very well.
Moving out.
Right,
Unit ready. On hold.
then we should have the APC soon. And then the third refinery goes here. Get some gems harvested.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting order. Vehicle acknowledged. Engineering. Affirmative.
Right, and let's not
Unit
attack until
lost.
we've got everything in
Construction
position.
unit complete. Lost.
There we go. Right, I've just lost a unit somewhere. What the? Okay,
Ready and waiting.
Vehicle
Acknowledged.
acknowledged. Engineering.
right, get back.
Waiting at twice.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Of course.
Everyone get
Ready and
back.
waiting. As you wish.
Acknowledged. Moving out. Vehicle affirmative.
Training. Unit ready. On hold. Cancel. Training.
Engine. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Unit ready. New construction options.
Right, now I'm going to put the next
Unit
ore
ready.
truck.
Construction
Over
complete.
here.
Unit
Ready
ready.
and very well.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
I'll get my
Primary building.
MCV
Unit ready.
repair. I mean my APC, sorry.
Unit
APC repaired.
Repairing. Unit deploy here.
This is actually an essential rifleman. I find a lot of players
Ready and waiting.
manage to
At
make
once.
the way
Unit ready.
behind your base if you're not careful.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Construction complete. Unit ready.
Reporting.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Awaiting affirmative.
Unit
Right, all my
ready.
ore trucks are now at the main.
Yes, sir.
Patch.
As you wish. Awaiting affirmative. Reporting.
Unit
I have to watch
ready.
out for attacks on my
Unit ready.
Um,
Unit ready.
Reporting.
Unit
on
ready.
my ore field here.
Unit
So
ready.
that means placing a couple of riflemen
Unit ready.
around.
Awaiting orders as you wish.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
My APC has actually
Unit
got
ready.
my engineer in
Unit
there,
ready.
so I need to watch that.
Reporting.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Construction
Yes, sir.
complete. Unit ready.
Comrade, affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Oh, reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Unit primary ready. Building selected. Unit ready. Primary building
Acknowledged.
construction complete.
Vehicle
Unit
reporting.
ready.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Unit
And I'm
ready.
going to actually secure this as well
Unit ready.
while I'm at it. My next
Unit
3 barracks
ready.
I'll be placing over
Unit
there.
ready. Unit ready. Construction complete. Primary
Unit
building
ready.
selected. Unit ready.
Awaiting or affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Construction
Acknowledged.
complete. Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Awaiting
Insufficient
affirmative.
unit lost. Ready. Unit ready. New construction
Ready and waiting.
options.
Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Unit
Right,
ready.
now these barracks that I'm
Unit
going to place, I'll actually use them over here.
Unit construction ready. Complete.
And it will
Unit
help delay
ready.
the enemy if they
Unit
attack.
ready. Construction unit ready.
Right, we're out of cash.
Awaiting orders. Of course.
Report. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Ready and waiting. Agreed.
And we need
Yes, sir. Very well.
units in the middle just to make sure.
Unit ready. Insufficient funds.
Come on.
Construction complete. Primary building. Unit
Reporting as
ready.
you wish. Yes,
Unit
sir. Very
ready.
well.
Construction complete.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Unit
Engineering.
ready.
Affirmative.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here. Unit ready. Unit ready.
And I think I'll
Primary building
place
ready.
my
Unit
tanks and
ready.
stuff here.
Primary building
My
selected.
rally point.
Primary building. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
And
Construction
I can also
insufficient.
start
Unit
expand
ready.
over there.
Unit ready. Unit
Over
ready.
to
Unit
the
ready.
Of course.
Unit lost.
left side of the map.
Unit ready. Unit
Reporting
ready. Base is
affirmative.
under attack.
Waiting order. Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Ready and acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Construction
order.
unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Power.
Comrade, acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Unit
Reporting
ready.
at once.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Primary building selected. Unit ready. Primary building.
Got it.
Unit
That was
lost.
nice.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit selected. Lost.
That's it. I've got base defences there as well.
Vehicle affirmative.
Construction ready. Lost. Primary building selected. Unit lost. Unit lost. Cancel. Unit lost. Ready. Lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Should have been beaten there.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Vehicle
Unit
reporting.
ready. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Report affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Moving out. Awaiting.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit ready. Lost. Unit ready. Unit construction. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit ready. Lost. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Orders at once.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Unit lost. Base is under attack. Unit ready. Training. Construction complete. Unit ready. Unit ready. Construction ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Waiting orders. Acknowledged.
Yes.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Selected. Unit ready. Construction complete. Unit ready.
Ready and waiting at once.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. As you wish.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Complete. Unit ready.
Moving out.
Yes, sir. At once.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Construction options. Unit ready.
There you go.
Accomplished.
Managed to finish that one off quite easily, but there's a live game for you at least. Oof, dear me, at least they didn't attack over here. But I'd have had time, I'd have seen them coming, but I was just very vulnerable to an attack here. But, you know, took my chances, went for it, and he's asking for a rematch. So, I'll say, yeah, I'll be on in a minute. So we'll just go through the graphs and charts, get this game done, and I'm in green, so there you go, there's the army graph, one large engagement. You know, once it kicked off, it was, I forced an outcome. So, and there's earnings, I was behind my opponent, but then took the lead. And I've got a few heavy tanks, got my APC, a couple of flamethrowers, my engineer is still messing around at the back, here he is. And basic amount of infantry. I've got a 17,000 army value. I lost one structure, my opponent lost 5. I killed 175 units, my opponent killed 98. I destroyed 42,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 20,000 credits worth of mine. No support powers in effect too soon, although I do have a radar dome and I was training thieves. I don't know if any were produced. I don't think so. But I was in the process of using tech assets. There we go, look, a thief. There's 4 seconds till it's produced. So my engineer was here ready to get the chokehold into effect. Get that underway. And I'm building more barracks. You can't really go wrong with loads of barracks. You know, it helps hold up your opponent. You've got production wherever you place them. I've got 7 ore trucks left, hung on to both oil derricks, and I earned 65,000 credits. My opponent earned 65,000 credits as well. Very nice. We've both got a decent amount of cash left, but it's the early game. You should have a bit of cash now at this point because you haven't got your full production underway with all the tech assets and stuff, but you should have expanded, so at this point you should have a few grand. I was at 33 actions per minute. My opponent was at 33 actions per minute. Very similar in many ways. Same amount earned, same amount of actions per minute. We're giving the orders at the same rate. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed, that. I think I should hurry up and give this guy a rematch. So, there you go. There's this game for you. If you liked what you saw, give us a sub and a like. And thank you very much for watching. Take good care of yourselves. I hope you enjoyed the live game. And until next time, thank you very much, and goodbye.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game, and this is the second game of 3 that I'm going to show. We're on Sidestep map for this one. I'm using Russia, and my opponent's using Ukraine. And I'm in green on the left for this one. My opponent's in this kind of reddish, kind of orangey reddish colour. So let's have a look. This is an old classic map, this one. You've got an oil derrick and a pillbox in the corners here, bottom right and top left. So the first thing I do is I send a couple of riflemen to protect this, and then the engineer, I go straight to capture the pillbox, then the oil derrick, because that pillbox is very good for protecting your oil derrick, obviously. And then I send a couple of riflemen straight for the enemy oil derrick and pillbox. And the rest of my rifles I just keep at the base. At this point, I've still got 2 up here protecting the engineer, look, and he's on shift command to capture the pillbox, then the oil derrick, and then move back. My opponent's spreading out their rifles. They've got all the approaches covered, the basics. Although this side isn't that well protected. The shortest route's covered and this way, so it's not too bad. But they've sent nothing over this way, and they've got no engineers, so they haven't attempted to capture the oil derricks. And this was my opponent's choice of map. And I've got the oil derrick under capture, and then the shift command for the engineer. It's been ordered here so far, but I've secured this. I know my opponent hasn't gone to capture the oil derrick. So my engineer has now been ordered all the way over here and then back here. So yeah, my engineer's got a journey ahead of him. My opponent has gone for War Factory first. Very interesting. Let's see what vehicle they decided. They've gone for an ore truck first, so they're going for some earnings. And another ore truck. I've got 2 at the moment. I haven't placed my War Factory yet because I'm on the standard 2 ref build order. 2 refineries, War Factory, 3rd refinery. So I've just placed my War Factory now. That means I'll be building my scout vehicle. There's the engineer. He's a fair way on his journey. These 2 riflemen are covering part of the area over here where my engineer needs to move to. My opponent's got 4 ore trucks. Let's have a look at mine. I've got 2. My opponent's got 4. There's my scout vehicle. Now it looks like I've filled it up with grenadiers. And yes, I've got these riflemen. There's the engineer, and these riflemen are going to head towards the enemy base, and they've also done enough to make sure this is clear. Yeah, the enemy could have moved a rifleman this way, but it's highly unlikely. So my engineer's going to grab the pillbox, the oil derrick, and then run away, while these riflemen are uncovering my opponent's assets, and I've found the service depot and 2 power plants. This is my view range here, so I've dropped off my 5 grenadiers, and they're attacking the power plants. My 5th grenadier is attacking the service depot, but there goes 2 power plants, and the grenadiers are all gone. My APC attempted to escape, but was cut down. But I've captured the oil derrick, both oil derricks, both pillboxes. So let's have a look. Now my opponent, yeah, they're in low power. That would have interfered with their build order, but they have just got their 2nd MCV rolled out. Now I've got 1, 2... Right. My opponent's got 3 barracks, I've got 2. Now there's my 3rd, and I've just built my MCV. My 2nd MCV, sorry. So let's have a look. I'm now about to place my 4th barracks. That's normal, yeah. My opponent had 3. They've got 4 now. They're churning out heavy tanks. That's interesting. How they had those barracks early, but they did go War Factory first build. Yeah, fair enough. That'll be partly why, I'm assuming. There's my 2nd MCV moving up, and if I capture this expansion, it kind of provides a bit of protection for my oil derrick, because my opponent would have to move past this way to get to it, and it's easy to guard this area and this. I'm moving up my heavy tanks. I've only got 1 so far. Should have another one soon. Building troops at my base, and I've got base defences because you have to watch for your enemy sending units straight through here, because it's the shortest route to attack by, and they'll come out straight near your ore field, look. So you have to have something, and base defences in this area, some defensive assets. Let's have a look at the early army value. My opponent's at 9,000, I've just reached 12 in army value. 12,000 each. Interesting. And here we go, I'm moving forward. My opponent just looks like they're getting an expansion set up, but here we go. And I'm bringing my MCV forward. Now that's shift command to move here and then move back. I messed that up. Now I've redeployed it, given it different orders, so it sets up here. Now my infantry are stopping it building. That would be frustrating, but here we go. Barracks straight away, base defence straight away. The enemy's MCV is running, so no more base defences. And if I take out these structures here, they're losing barracks and power plants. That's very bad. Now my opponent's at 9,000 army value, I'm up 15. So yeah, and I've blocked this with defences and stuff. Look, my opponent still... He sent a decent little force, 3 heavy tanks. It's just not enough infantry to do damage. Even with me fighting within my opponent's view range around these structures, it's still... And my opponent got blocked by his own units. And the MCV was taken out. Look, they're placing mines. Very interesting. I wonder what's that's all about. I didn't notice that during the game. That's interesting. Now my opponent is obviously looking like he's making a final stand, but you'll be lucky. And their attack moving. But yeah, it's an odd place to put the old mines. And here we go, there's my opponent's moving an expansion that way. And I have got an expansion set up here. And I've done a capture on their power plant. There you go, my opponents called it. They were right to, because, you know, they're setting up an expansion, but what's it gonna do? You know, I'll just steamroll over what's left there and then destroy the base. Now, as I said, this is a second of 3 games, so I'll go through the graphs and charts for you. Here's my opponent's our army graph, and my opponent wasn't far behind at that point, just a little bit. That may have cost them, because I attacked into their defences and structures and they still lost that initial engagement, so it was unlucky. But there's my opponent's earnings, were actually ahead of mine very early. But once that attack kicked off, their expansion was here, so they were going to have problems after that. 4 heavy tanks, I've got 2 flamers, a couple of engineers by the looks of it, and a basic amount of infantry for my finishing army. It's a 17,000 army value, not bad. My opponent lost 11 structures, I lost 1, and my opponent killed 54 units, I killed 103. My opponent destroyed 11,000 credits worth of my assets. I destroyed 28,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. No support powers in effect as yet. And I am building a war factory, so I want a second one. I wanted a second one early. I'd have probably placed it up here somewhere or here for a frontline war factory. Excuse me, a flame tower, infantry and good old heavy tanks. Standard production then. I've still got 2 oil derricks because I took them both corners, and I don't know what those mines were about, but I've got 7 ore trucks left. I earned 51,000 credits, my opponent earned 44,000 credits, so I did fairly well there. And I was at 30 actions per minute, my opponent was at 30 actions per minute, exact. Very nice. So there's your basics, there's the scores and everything, graphs and charts, etc. So I'm going to go on to our 3rd game now. So I'll just get straight to that.
Terminated. Battle control.
And
initialized.
here we are. Here's game number 3. And we're on Timian map. I'm using Russia and my opponent's using Russia for this one. I'm using the green colour, my secondary green colour in the bottom right. My opponent's got the reddy orange colour in the top left. Both of us using Russia, like I say. And here's our first barracks placed, and I'm training infantry, sending them towards my opponent's oil derrick, and then I've got an engineer training, so it's going to go for the closest oil derrick. My opponent's training more rifles first. It looks like he's actually moving to secure my second oil derrick, and I'm moving to secure theirs. There we go, I've got my first capture underway. My opponent isn't training an engineer yet. So let's just have a look at the early numbers. I've got 12 rifles, my opponent's at 15. 13, I'm training. There we go, as the first engagements here. Rifles very close to each other. Not happening yet. No, there we go. So I'm now aware of my opponent's position over here, and I know that they're not capturing their own oil derrick, their own second one. In fact, they haven't got an engineer. Oh yeah, they have, it's there, but they should have gone for this one first. They're going for it second. So I clumped my rifles together, tried to use this one to protect my engineer, look, and they've moved behind us. Perfect positioning, and sniped my engineer. So yeah, their engineer has to fall back, but at least they've got it. And I left this force here in a small group. And my opponent's obviously positioning to hunt my next engineer if I was to train another. So I'm aware of that, look, not spreading out. Yeah, I've got plenty of rifles, look, in important positions. This will look for any rifles my engineers my opponent sends this direction, plus it'll track when they expand. So there's my second engineer. And I'm escorting it, clearing the way. Very carefully escorting my engineer, look. And my opponent's sending more units my way, and they're capturing the first oil derrick. Look at that. That rifleman has got a free shot on my engineer. He won't be able to see it, but... And I've just got these guys in position, just in time. Now I'm getting rocket soldiers trained. You need them. It's after 3 minutes now. It's essential. And the second engineer would have slowed my production of rocket soldiers. There's my APC. Here we go, look. They're using the flak truck for view range. And I'm now putting my APC up front. And without rockets, they're doomed. My opponent's doomed without rocket soldiers. They can't challenge my APC. And the engineers turn back again. So I have 2 oil derricks, now my opponent's got 1. And here we are, I'm moving to capture my third. Those flak trucks could have pursued my infantry through the centre and detonated barrels. They could have killed all of them quite easily. Flak trucks are very good harassment units. It's just micro-intensive, but that wouldn't put me off at all. It's just I'm not a fan of flak trucks in general. I build them as a counter to enemy tech when they get air units or artillery, but until then I don't tend to build flak trucks. I should do, because they are very good harassment units and they're good for hunting MCVs early on. But it looks like my opponent's got a dodgy rally point for their war factory. Luckily they stopped their ore truck before it reached this far. And there you go, they're moving out. Let's have a look at some early army values. 5,000 to me, 3,000 to my opponent. Yeah, my opponent's got their first heavy tank. There's my second MCV on the way to the expansion. Let's see what my opponent's doing. Yeah, they're producing their MCV. There's about 15 seconds left. Yeah, my engineer's inside my APC. Now I've got my heavy tanks rolling out. And there's my opponent's second MCV. $10,000 army value to me, 8,000 to my opponent. And there we go, they've got their expansion built. So they should, hopefully for them, it's a refinery ready to place. Yeah, there you go. I've got my eco transfer here, look. Still got a couple of ore trucks mining and a third one at home base. See, I'm waiting to track their expansion. And my rifleman has done just that. And is on hold fire, so he can't fire back. Sorry about that. Now, this is unprotected and unguarded, and a flank attack would go this way. You could move them here and this way, so, you know, you should have a rifleman there. Now, I'm not sure what my opponent was referring to there, but I'm using my technicians, look, scouts on hold fire, and here we are. Got an engagement, getting that APC out of there because the engineer's inside, and I'm bringing my MCV and tanks up front. My opponent's wise to fall back immediately. They know what's been happening the last couple of games, so they know to watch it. There's no point engaging where I've got all the advantage. And I thought, right, well, what shall I do? I've just sent my opponent retreating, so I thought I'm going to hit their base. Keep the the APC handy because it's got my engineer inside. And that's what I was thinking. Now my opponent, I'm guessing that they're expecting an attack. And that's why they're not attacking here. But I've got my primary production here, look, because I need to defend this base. It's urgent that I do so. But I'm also attacking. I can't delay. Here we go. And I can switch primary production here when I need to, but I'm taking the chance that this is enough. Bit of a risk, but still. And they were tracking me, look, with the flak trucks. There you go, I've knocked out a few ore trucks. That looks like 4 ore trucks. Yeah, that's bad. Now, I'm fighting here and distracting the enemy because I've seen their defence, and I've dropped off my engineer and he's capturing the construction yard, so they can't place base defences now. And they can't build structures, they can't place anything here, even though they have a second con yard, they can't place anything within this build radius. They would have to use this build radius and place defences here. There you go, you see? It's the only place they can place them, and now I've captured the con yard, overrun their defenders. There you go. And I don't blame them, because that was a killer blow. Like, efficient, lethal, straight to the point, and effective. So I don't blame my opponent for that, for calling it there, because that was brutal. And there you go, look, it was no good. After that first engagement where they fell back, they were in big trouble. And the same thing happened to me earlier, it's just how it goes. And there's the earnings graph. My opponent was slightly behind in earnings, although they were doing okay. There's my finishing army. A few heavy tanks, got my APC, Flamers Engineer, and basic amount of infantry. Combat chart, I've got a 19,000 army value. I didn't lose any structures. My opponent only lost 3. But, yeah, I didn't lose any. My opponent lost 3, but I killed 111 units. My opponent killed 65. A quick game, that one. And I destroyed 24,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 11,000 credits worth of mine. No support powers, it was too short a game. And I am building a second war factory. I do like my war factories today. And the basics. Economy, I got 3 oil derricks, look. That one, and that one. So that was a nice little bit of bonus income. 7 ore trucks left. I earned 57,000 credits. My opponent earned 42,000 credits. And there's all your... Got basics for your cash and that. I've got a decent little amount each. And I was at 30 actions per minute. My opponent was at 34. There's our scores. And that was the third game and the decider. Third and final game, not a decider. Just the final game. My opponent wanted a couple of rematches. So there's your basics, graphs and charts. I'll post these 3 games together. So thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, give us a sub and a like. And take good care of yourselves. And until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.